Yes, sir, we're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Figma Max Factory Metroid video game Samus Aran figure review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey I'm fucking with. Hype beast we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about you.
And taking a look at one of the side panels, you can see a picture of the figure and it says Figma, and this is number 306, says Samus Aran and Zero Suit version. And on the opposite side, same information but a different picture of the figure. And taking a look at Samus in the Zero Suit out of the package, and I think this figure is decent. I think it's okay. I think the sculpt is pretty nice. Figma is known to do some really nice female characters, and this figure definitely came out clean. This was a must-own for me because I picked up the original Samus in the regular armor that we all know and love from the Metroid video game. Honestly, I haven't played Metroid since the original Nintendo back in the 80s, so I don't know how the game has progressed or what new innovative things they've added to that particular franchise. But like I said, I had to pick this up being that I had that original figure, and I think that original figure from Figma is one of their best ever produced. It's just a beautifully done figure, which I'll break out at some point in this review. And she didn't come with a ton of accessories, but definitely a couple of cool options, so let's get into those. Now, all Figma figures come with a stand, and the arm of the stand can be plugged into the base, and then the other end of the arm can plug into the back of the figure. And straight out of the package, she comes with a set of fisted hands. And it's pretty common practice that you get several interchangeable hands with Figma figures, and they always give you this little apparatus to store them on. So looks like we got a set of fully open hands with the fingers spread, and a set of semi-open hands that look like she can hold something with these two at the top. And then it looks like another semi-open hand, a thumbs up, and this one looks like the hand for her to hold her weapon, her gun. You can see a little trigger finger there. And there she is with her pistol, and that looks good. She can hold it with no problem. Her finger is in the trigger groove there, and you can see the gun is kind of silver with some gray on it, and that looks cool. And she does have a working holster, but the gun does not fully fit into the holster. They actually gave you another little accessory here, which is just the butt of the gun that you can slide down into the holster. There you go, so there's that, and that looks good. And it should be noted that the hands were very easy to swap out. Figma usually always gives you an extra hand peg as well, so if you break one, then you have a replacement. And so they included that as well, even though I didn't show it. And she also comes with a helmet. From what I can see, this is kind of just for show. It's just a prop because it can't fit on her head in any way, but it says 07, mostly blue, and this is sort of like a golden visor here and some red triangles on either side. It looks good. So no real way to get her to clasp the helmet, but I mean, I guess you could just kind of get it to rest there on her arm, which is what it's doing right now, and that looks pretty cool. But I'm not a big fan of this. It would have been nice if it was a real accessory. I mean, it's an accessory. If it could really go on her neck or on her head in some way, and it was more than just a prop, that would have been a little cooler. And then she also comes with a different faceplate and a different head with a different hairstyle, so you can see that she's got the long ponytail there. And this is kind of annoying. This is how you actually replace the face, but her bang, I guess you can say, comes off here, but it's not really I feel like the mechanism for it to peg in is not really working as well as it should. This thing was kind of like just falling out as I was doing different things throughout the review, so this doesn't really kind of plug in there as tight as I would like. It's kind of flimsy, but yeah, you pull that off and then you pull the face off, and once the face is off, you can see how the peg looks in there. And you're going to pop this whole entire part off, and there's the face, and there's that. And although I'm jumping the gun a little bit and revealing some of the articulation, you can see how that works. It's like a double peg and a ball there, and that'll show you how some of the articulation for the head and neck work, this can actually hinge back and forth there. And then there's the other head, and this one has a little earpiece on it, so we'll pop that back on the neck. Well, I actually needed to split the head at the seam first and then apply the face and then apply the front part of her wig piece back on. So there she is with the interchangeable face and the different short hairstyle, and that looks cool. And then there's the two heads side by side, and if you want to mix and match the faces with the different hair, you can. And just a real quick look at the two faces. You can see the interchangeable face has softer eyes, and the original face that came on her looks a little more stern, a little more serious. So taking a look at the articulation and some of the details on the deco real quick too. I noticed this little emblem on the back of the left hand, and it's on the back of all of the left hand, so that's an easy way for you to know that it's the left hand when you swap them out, I suppose. And there's another little emblem here on the breast. I don't know how well that's showing up, and one on the back, but if you know in the comments, let me know. You know, like I said, I haven't played this game in quite some time, so I don't know what's happened with the evolution of this character in the game. And I don't know how well this is showing up, but she's got a little beauty mark right below the left side of her lip. And at first I thought that was a paint imperfection, but when I looked on the other head, I noticed that it was there. So nice attention to detail if that's what it's supposed to be, if it's supposed to be a beauty mark. And overall, the paint is just pretty flawless. Very good work here. Figma is known for very good paint work. So some blue, sort of like an aqua blue or light blue, and some darker blue over that with some red and some gray there. And the holster looks pretty nice and pretty nicely detailed. As you saw, the head is on a ball joint. It can move up and down, left and right, and of course this stupid hairpiece keeps coming off. I hate that. It'll pivot, but what I don't like is that the neck doesn't move. It's only this head moving on that ball joint. So being that the neck doesn't move, it kind of looks kind of weird, and that's what I don't like about this upper portion. It sort of looks like she has bad posture. I don't know. I don't like that. I wish the neck could actually move, and being that this hairpiece is articulated as well, it can move outward, inward, do a full 360. If the neck could move, then it wouldn't be hindered by the hair. So I don't know why they didn't give the neck some articulation. That's unfortunate. But the shoulders are on the ball joint. They'll go up pretty far. You can see the ball joint in there. And it's almost like a butterfly joint as well. So it'll rotate on there as well. Very similar to some of the things Figure Arts has been doing lately. So no upper bicep swivel, but you do get the rotation right at the shoulder, so it's okay. And then you get just a bit more than 90 degrees on the elbow. You get a nice swivel and a deep hinge on the wrist, and the torso will not really go back at all, but it will go forward pretty far. Nothing here at the lower abdomen, no waist articulation, but you can definitely turn her left and right at the upper torso, and the legs will come up pretty far. She could do a split just about that far. She does get a nice double jointed knee. It's deep, and definitely a hinge back and forth on the foot, and a nice ankle pivot. So decent amount of articulation. You can definitely get her into some dynamic poses and crouches and what have you, but again, the fact that the neck can't go up is kind of annoying. I don't like that. And you can see how that looks from the back if you try to get a crouching, and that doesn't really look good at all. Couple quick size comparisons. You can see the Marvel Legends Spider-Woman on the left and the Marvel Legends Miss Marvel Kamala Khan on the right. So Figma is typically like 5-inch scale or true 6-inch scale, so a little smaller than Marvel Legends, as you can tell. But as it compares to the Figma Samus, the original one, you can see that it really does look like that she can fit inside of that suit, and that looks very good. And I forgot to mention, Figma always gives you this little bag to store your accessories in, but 99.9% of the time it tears here at the top. So definitely a decent piece. I think these two complement each other well. I should have mentioned this right from the beginning, but this figure is specifically based on the Metroid Other M video game, which, like I said, I've never played, haven't played Metroid since the 80s, but like I said, I felt obligated to pick her up, being that I already had the armored up version. So it's going to cost you about 45, maybe 50 bucks if you get it directly from Japan. A little bit more if you get it domestically, and probably even a bit more if you end up having to get her on the secondary market. I wouldn't go nuts trying to get her if you don't already have the armored up version, but if you do, then I'd go for it, no question about it. A few little annoying things, especially the hairpiece continuously falling out. You know, Figma has had some quality control issues with some of the past figures that I've purchased personally. The Figma Hulk and the Leonidas figure had some issues, but overall, I do think this was a decent piece. So look out for quite a few more reviews on my channel in the next week or so. The next thing that'll be up is the Yamaguchi Reveltech Spider-Man, which I'm really excited about. So stay tuned for that next. And until next time, peace.
That's crispy.